So now moving on to the third cupboard, which is the interior cupboard. So anything to do with cleaning, air freshening, protecting any of the surfaces that you'll find in your interior, like leather, plastics, Alcantara, carpets, all that sort of stuff. So this cupboard's been hit the most. As you can see, there's a lot of empty bottles in here, and by the looks of it, I've left the trigger completely open on one of them, and it's seeped out a little bit. I think it's the glass cleaner, if I'm honest. So I remember I used the glass cleaner to actually hit the floor with, and I opened it up to where it was a jet, and I must have left it in there for a few months. Obviously, with the freezing temperatures and the warmer back up all the time, it might have blown a seal somewhere, or it just expanded and leaked a little bit. So we're gonna have to clean that up, but I'll show you what we have in here. So in here, what you do have, again, one of my development mitts, which it didn't go too well, but it fits well on the hand. So one of the bottles which you see in here is a clear liquid, and what you see in these bottles as well, no, it's not water. It's actually an antibacterial cleaner that we've got. It's not been released. It's just for ourselves, and whether we're just wiping our cars down if we've been to many public places, or if a lot of people have been here, we'll obviously use that product to wipe the countertops down with. But I'll actually talk about this and what I actually use to clean the metal part of the cabinets and the plastic parts of the install as well. So I'm just wiping these down. Now, if you know your car care products, you'll know which brand this came from. We got sent this by actually a customer. In fact, I was talking about this on the previous cabinet, but it's not the same product, but the same company. Now, he said you have to try and use this on your tires. Now, that's old formula. We used this product neat on the tires. It didn't do very well, so we poured it down the drain, and if you look at the color, it's now got our classic glass cleaner in there in the bigger bottle, and this is actually what we mainly use to clean and wipe down the cabinets with. So a lot of it's leaked. God damn it. So again, as I said, if you look here, it looks a lot like water. It's not. Obviously, it's got high foamability into it. Such a good product actually, but we never released this on social media. We never talked about it, which is the best way, if I'm honest, because a lot of people would have asked for it, and I don't want to go into that market. That's the new formula. So as you know, we've recently changed our interior to a V2 version now. Same performance, however slightly different scents. To eucalyptus. So a lot of these, so YumCars, this will go in the bin, and obviously our air freshener, deodorizer. So what you're seeing here is something that is a strange product. It's nothing that kind of has been done before. It's basically an anti-static treatment for your interior plastics. Not sure about it yet. It's not a dressing, it's not a cleaner. It's more of a, picture it as a detail spray that leaves a slickening agent behind, so when you run the back of your hand over the paintwork, it feels super slick. Same thing as this. Now plastics, it's at the car, well, you can actually see it this time, whereas on paint, not so much so, because you need to have a look at it under the microscope. But when you look, the next time, if you're interested, have a look at your plastics in the car really up close, and you'll see pores. Now, obviously, if you look at it under the microscope, it's even more porous. Now, especially in the summer, when you're getting in and out the car, you've got pollen, dust, all that sort of stuff. If you've got the window open especially, you've got all that stuff kind of circulating around the car, and it settles. Now, because plastic is porous, it's got a higher tendency to keep a hold of kind of dirt. Now with this, I just thought, what happens if we try and do an anti-static thing on the inside of your car? It doesn't really give an effect, so it doesn't darken it, it doesn't lighten it, it doesn't make it feel any kind of, or look anyway, any different. Whereas if you feel the back of your hand, That's actually, it's very interesting what happens then. It just feels very smooth. I can't really describe it to you. It's not a dressed feel. It's just a very slick feel on the plastics now. The whole thought process behind it is a little bit like on paint protection. When you have something hit the plastics, this is the way I thought, it would hit and keep moving on. Again, anything will always get dirty no matter what you've put on it, including coatings. But in this case, if you want to do a general, so imagine you're doing a clean with something like the YumInterior, you've exfoliated the plastics, and now it's time to move into the protection side, even though it's not a protective product. And you'll put down a slickening agent, which would kind of cross-link with the pores and make everything super flat. So I may do a video on it. Actually, as I said, I've got a correction video coming up on the GTS and on other cars as well. So I may just use this and kind of show you how it looks and feels. Again, the green stuff, 1, 2, yeah. So these are our development air freshener / air deodorizers. Now the reason why it's taken so long is because within air deodorizers, you need something that actually cleans the air. So it's not just a masking agent like most air fresheners. So this is why our lemon's so good, because within a citrus-based fruit, you've got obviously citric acid, and citric acid is a great degreaser. Now, we haven't got citric acid in here. It's a variation of citric acid, and we've got a few other things within this that actually kill and kind of cleanse the air. This is why this is so popular. You can put it on the carpets, leave it overnight, you come back, and it smells a lot fresher. Obviously, there's a lemon scent behind it as well, which again goes hand in hand with it. Now these, the green is new car, which is extremely hard to get. However, because everyone has a different opinion of what a new car smells like, and I've seen some horrific and some really, really good ones. So it's a really kind of iffy minefield of smells. However, with this one, it's really nice. So it's my variation of how a new car smells. So I've had a few previous new cars, and they all smell mightily similar to this. Again, that's for the bin. Now with these horrible looking things, avoid the colors. These are actually, this is a bubble gum. Now a bubble gum, again, is very hard to nail. It's very subjective. Now with this, it's very fresh. In fact, one of my customers asked for this. So you saw a previous video. Oh, lovely. So in fact, a handful of customers have had this. So if you guys are still watching the videos, comment down. I know one of them really is, you know, an avid watcher of the channel, so comment down your thoughts, but it is really strong. It stays in the car for up to a week. It depends what you eat, drink, smoke in the car, but if you're just a normal person, it lasts up to a week, so it's really good. And then, I've had this for a few years now. I haven't actually used it that much, but it's a leather conditioner. It's, they've labeled it as a leather conditioner, but if you actually read the instructions and watch the videos on this, it's more of like a leather sealant. Not really a fan of this. You put this on a microfiber block and spread it, but I just feel like it clumps up. It's strange. It comes out nice. There's no clumps. You start spreading it around, and it starts to kind of form little bumps. Not a favorite of mine. And then you've got a Gliptone product as well, which is a leather conditioner. Now, we've had a few like really, really old cars in here which have got real leather and not vinyl. So we do keep this on hand a little bit sometimes to cater for some of the older cars that we have in. So yeah, that's the shelf really. It's nothing too interesting in here. But what we will do, definitely this shelf needs heavy cleaning. I like all aspects of clean, including where people can't see, but I know it's there. So, so the bottom, like on some of the previous cabinets you've had, a bit of glass there. This is a bit more of a tools thing for us, which I've got a few of. We'll use a few on like the dash, the vents, some of the pedals, really sensitive leathers, as you've seen on my AMG detail of my car. So yeah, you've got obviously a pet hair kind of block. It's really generic. It's nothing special. But we use this. We've never really had a really horrific car, because that's not who we try and target. But sometimes you do get a few hairs from a few dogs, so we've never had to deal with some of the pictures or videos you may have seen of disaster details where there's like 4 inches of dog hair. But with this, we actually use this primarily to put in stripes in the carpet as well. So once we clean, obviously we wet back the carpets and we put stripes in. So it's a really good tool, relatively inexpensive. It's a couple of quid and it's lasted us for like ever for now. But yeah, these are brushes that we use. Again, as you can see, I've got an absolute ton of them. You can never have too many for the interior, and I just like it this way. I don't like to cross-contaminate various surfaces. Now this from Wheel Woolies. They kindly sent this out to us a while back. Obviously you know that we co-brand our Wheel Woolies with the Wheel Woolly brand, and they actually make it custom for us, which is a nice thing of them to do. But this is called the Power Woolly. So this is in the original colors. Again, they've been kind enough to print it for us. Looks really slick. But now if you see this, this is a drill attachment. So you would put this onto your drill like this, and you fire it up. So it's a shorter head than usually. So ours are 18-inch long. Whereas this, you can put it onto a wheel. Now, if you've got really bad wheels or you just don't want to do the basic hand motions, you can actually use this on the drill and just hold your hand in place and it'll spin it all for you. So I need to try this on camera one day, actually, because I've never used an attachment like this before. But yeah, it's fairly nice. Again, some of these are cotton buds, which we get from Kelly's brother. He's kind enough to always hook us up with them. It's extra long ones. I'll show you if you don't know. These are special ones, really, really long, one-time use type of things. And we get this into all the nooks and crannies, into the vents. I think when we do a proper interior detail, we might go through 100 of these at a time on a car, but luckily we get them for free. So 100 at a time is not too bad. So we've still got a few packs of them. So here, what you see, I'll talk about this in a second. This is another gift from Wheel Woolies that we've got now. We have used this. As you can see, it's completely flexible. I don't know how they even managed to print that. I mean, that's tiny, really, really small. But basically, this is an interior woolly. You could see how floppy it is. And what we do with this is you can get this literally anywhere. We sometimes get it into the vents. So imagine this is the vent. We'll put it down in here and scrub it, and we'll put our interior in. So no place is unreached in the interior with this. I don't think there will be a huge demand for these, if I'm completely honest with you. But it's a cool thing to have for someone like us. But once you do this once, you'll probably use this Wheel Woolly probably quarterly when you're giving the car a deep clean. But yeah, it's a nice little touch from them. And we've got a few interior brushes. Now we've been testing, this is from the States. It's a shorter hair brush. You could use this on the plastics, the leathers. We normally use it on the leathers. Now, it's okay. I've never found the need to really whip out heavy, either product on the inside or heavy bristles on, say, leathers, plastics, because again, we don't do cars that are that bad. And our cars never get that bad, and these have never had to use anything more than, you know, the ultra kind of soft medium bristle brushes. Again, Wheel Woolies, again, they've sent us another one of their brushes. Now this brush is expensive. Again, they've tried to brand for us, which is awesome. And this is the original brush. Now, if you see, a lot of suppliers have a very copycat brush like this, which obviously comes from one place, which is fine, but they try and charge a premium for it, which is the biggest problem, because this is handmade in the US. So of course there's going to be an extra kind of charge. They use more premium bristles on this, and it kind of tapers. So it goes from thick, as you can see, all the way to thin. So if you need to get into the tight areas, quite a cool brush. And this is another brush which we were also testing. But again, a brush is a brush on the interior, and we've rarely used these apart from when we're giving our car deep exfoliation ready for a leather treatment, stuff like that. Last but not least, I think this tool, it's a lifesaver actually. So you would wrap your, say, YumCars utility towel around it, so like this. You would saturate either the towel that's already on here, in fact I'll show you. So imagine this is your interior utility towel. You would wrap it like that, as you can see. And now, because this is a triangle here at this point, you can get literally deep into the windscreen, all to the edges. You can reach, so basically this is a reach tool, and it comes with a few what they call glass cleaning bonnets, which you can wrap around on elastic, but they're so thin, they get saturated super quick, so I wouldn't, like, we used them once and I thought, it's not the best, so we just use our towels, and you can interchange the towels as many times as you can. But this tool, we've had it for a couple of years now. Again, it's plastic, but it hasn't broken yet, so, and for how much this costs, if it does break, you just buy another one, and you can obviously alterate it. You can clean it this way, or you could flip it and kind of go into the windscreen. So yeah, this is a really cool tool if you've got issues with cleaning glass. I always have these little caps in here. I end up testing that many caps that I just put them in there and just forget about them. But now that we're kind of more stable with our supply line of accessories, of caps and stuff, I don't really need to do that anymore. We've got our 1 cap or 2 cap variants, and then that's it. Nice and simple. Glass cleaner, we go through a ton of glass cleaners. So obviously everybody who knows us, we vape like crazy. So it's one of those products we can't live without. And we actually developed it for ourselves in terms of the properties of the glass cleaner and how it cleans the vape oils up. So like I've always said, if it can clean up vape oils like this does, or like, for example, like a product can do, then normal dirt and grime and stuff that you find on car interiors is easy. So it works a dream. And also because it contains, like I'm proud of this point, it contains a specific cleaner in there, specific degrees to that. As far as I know, nobody else does or has incorporated into the glass. It's potent, so you can clean also. It's actually a great cleaner in general. So as I said, we use it on floors, we use it on cabinets because it's got a fast flash rate. But these parts here, which are plastic, we wipe them down actually in the morning and at night. So because obviously fingerprints and stuff like that, so we like to keep on top of it. 5x5, and we're going to move on to our all-time favorite air freshener. So before I do the whole roll, I'm going to try and fit obviously the antibacterial cleaner. Going to need it to roll. With how we use this stuff, it lasts such a long time, so we actually don't need to make that much at any one given time. I just like full sets. I know it's a bit overkill for personal use, but it has to be even and it has to be fully packed. Boom. How good does that look? Perfect. So the development anti-static will go on here. That many brushes. Oh, by the way, the reason as well, the brushes, so if anything comes because of packaging, as you know, or transportation, if anything comes rejected, same as with the Glass Plus applicators, if there's a little bit of a dent, a scratch, stuff like that, you will never see it. And we always take the worst. I mean, when I say the worst, it's for us, it's the worst. You might not even ever notice it. So we take these and we use them because at the end of the day, we still need to use them. And rather than dipping into a new one, might as well use these. So these come in extremely handy. I like putting them in identical lines. Like I said, that way, if a member of staff comes in and says, I need this, that, the other, they don't have to rummage through garbage everywhere. Everything's just laid out neatly. It's nice. They've been told to put it back neatly, or there will be now. So, I mean, they always do anyway, but looks beautiful, doesn't it? Nice. So, interior drawer done, last drawer to go, and I know this video is going to be very long, so I'm contemplating whether to show you the towel drawer. I might do that, or I might make this a two-part video. I might show you the development drawer as well, some of the stuff we've got in, well, not a development drawer, but some of kind of waxes, all that sort of stuff. So this is the pro drawer, so anything to do with paint correction is in here. And especially here, you see I buy everything retail. I buy in you know, the biggest bottles that they do, litre ones normally, and I don't get given no discount. And this is because I just want to experience as many compounds, as many polishes as I humanly can. I think I've experienced all of them now. And I've got a few favorites. I've got a few that I don't really like. Obviously, I'm going to talk you through it here anyway, and kind of, you know, answer some of the questions. Like a lot of people say to us, are you going to do an all-in-one polish, which is just horrible, or you're going to do a compound polish? So I'm going to talk about that as well. I mean, I've already touched on the subject a few times regards polishes, but again, the gloves, one sec, let me pull these out. We get this from Kelly's brother again. He's a good man. So we've got three full boxes here. This is not actually opened, broke it accidentally, but yeah, we get them. I think these contain a couple hundred or 100, no, yeah, 100 of each. I've just opened this box, so yeah, 300 boxes of gloves at any one time we get given. So on the left, I used to have it really organized actually, but then because I bought loads of stuff and I was just a little bit in a rush, I just hammered them all in. But let me just take them all out and I'll show you where we are with it. There's a ton, absolute ton. There we go. That's how many compounds we've got. Quite a few. So I'm going to just, even though this was meant to be just a cleaning video, rip everything out, put everything back in, goodbye. That was the whole intention, but you know what I'm like. I want to try and give as much value as I can throughout each video. So compounds and polishes, two different things. Obviously a compound is the more aggressive one, which just paints a picture. There's a liquid, so imagine a white liquid, and within the white liquid there is, let's call it grains of sand. The compounds contain bigger grains. The polishes or the refining polishes contain smaller grains, and anywhere in between. So if it's a medium polish, it's not the biggest, but it's not the smallest. So compounds obviously start heavy and they break down, so it's called diminishing abrasives. The longer you work them, the more they kind of start to break down, to where a lot of modern compounds on certain paints finish down beautifully. So that's the beauty of living within the 21st century. The technology is moving so quickly now, and there's compounds now that can cut ceramic clear coats and super hard clear coats, like, so for example, the Mercedes, BMW paint, Audi paint, usually, not always, is hard. You know, if you had to kind of speculate without seeing the car, German paint's normally hard, Japanese paint's normally fairly soft. But I've seen Jap paint, which is rock hard. I've seen German paint that is really soft. So sometimes it does depend. So originally, I was a big fanboy of the Manzana line. So I think the only one I've got here is this at the minute. So yeah, I was a big proponent of Manzana. So the Manzana 300, so FG 300, is the highest kind of cut compound. And the higher the numbers go, so obviously here it says 3,500, 3,500, and the higher the numbers go, the more refinement you get. So the next one up, actually, I think is it 4,000 or something. This is towards the top of the finishing polishes. So Manzana, I was a big fanboy. Eventually, I think the last time I used it, when I had the caddy, if you remember, the purple caddy we had, and it's just, especially the lower stuff, so the 300-400s, they're just so hazy, and sometimes I thought it's not the easiest to wipe off either. They used to dust quite a lot. So in fact, I've had this bottle for a long time. I need to use this up because for what I'm going to move on to next, there's much better stuff, I think, now. So, and then eventually I got onto the Car Pro line, so the Car Pro Clear Cut. As you see, I've got multiple bottles of each. So Car Pro Clear Cut is the compound, and the Car Pro Reflect 1, 2, fact, the third one I just had to throw away actually because it was empty. So I've got 2 huge bottles of this, and this is the only bottles that the compounds come in. Really nice stuff again. The clear cut can dust a little bit, but you can work around it if you know how to manipulate the product, which we do. So we've actually figured out the issue and we kind of manipulate it, but you still get a little bit of dust. And to be honest, with most compounds, you will get a little bit of dusting. But the clear cut, the beauty of this, it finishes down amazingly. So the process is when you have to go and refine, then you can actually skip through a refining step. I mean, it depends on the size of the car, but in a couple of hours you can just go poof, 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 and it's all done. The main step for me is compounding, because if you say miss a scratch, which is here, and you go, the finishing polish will get that out. The finishing polish will never get out a deeper scratch. So if you get everything, obviously there might be a little bit of haze here, a little bit of haze there, but if you use their system, so the Car Pro Reflect, it just finishes completely. I mean, the car just changes before your eyes. It's amazing. So the reflect, the clear cut stuff, nice. Now moving on to the finish and polish, the reflect. Again, I have never, until I'm going to the next point, but at that point I had never used the finish and polish that wipes off so beautifully. Now all finish and polishes usually are nicer to work with. There's no dusting. They're very oily, so you can work them forever. You then take a towel, wipe it off. It's like a hot knife through butter. So most of them are nice. 99% of them are nice. But then Reflect came along, and I thought, wow, that's something else. It's unbelievable. And again, no dusting, just wipe. I mean, you could throw a towel at it once, and it's gone. So amazing. Again, this was our V1 of the polish, of the refining polish, not the compound. So really good stuff. To my spec. Again, I'm only going for my spec, but as you can see, I've used pretty much all the top brands. Most of them, again, I've had to throw away because we've used them. So there used to be at least, 15 different compounds, 15 different polishes, but we've narrowed it down to 3 now. So from what my experience is, we kind of had to go with this. Very nice, but still not perfect, and nothing gets released until you can beat the bigger boys. So that's the Reflect game gone. And then I read on a detailing forum about this Zviza. I think it's a Spanish brand. Everybody was raving about it, so I thought, I'm going to buy some. So I had this. In fact, I bought one of everything, but I eventually used it all up. So this is the last one, and this is actually the most aggressive. So this is in fact, I'll show you in the picture. So if you can see, this is where we are pre-cut, but normally you would start at the heavy cut here. But the pre-cut is ridiculous. It just hazes. I mean, imagine a black car, it turns the car white. So it's almost like a sanding step that you're doing. Not really a big fan of this, because then you've got to go through various steps to get it back up to even a point where you can refine it, because if you throw any refining polish on top of it, it's going to do not a whole heck of a lot. So I wouldn't really say this is one of my favorites, so I'll put it to the side mostly. I think I used it twice. Not a fan. Then I discovered Sonax. Now again, I'm going to honor the source in this one. Sonax was from Matter Obsessed Garage. I've heard of Sonax, but when you're using Car Pro, Manzurna, Maguire's M101, M205, so again, stuff like that, M105, 205 is old school tech now, but when you're using Car Pro, Manzurna, and a few other brands, I thought Sonax, it can't be that good, but he was raving about it on many of his videos, so I thought, well, okay, I'm going to pull the trigger. So I'll move this to the sides. Basically, you've got Sonax Cut Max, which by the name dictates it's a cutting agent, so a compound, and Perfect Finish. So firstly, Sonax Cut Max. Out of a scale, it's not actually out of 10, it's out of 6. I don't know why they've done that. But again, it's 6 on a cut, 3 out of 6 on a gloss, which about the gloss I don't really care, because you're cutting the car and you're going to make a lot of hazing. Now, this hazes it slightly differently. It's like really very tight micro scratching. But the beauty of this is, unless you get this horribly wrong, which I still haven't been able to do, there is no dust. Now, I don't know how this has happened and how they've done it, but basically there's no dust, like zero. So you can be hammering a panel, and I even tried this when we had the heat wave in the summer. So it was, you know, like 32 degrees here. So for the UK, that's like really bad. And the product was not drying up on the paint. It wipes off relatively nice for a compound. They're all quite hard to wipe off. Now, the beauty of the product is the perfect finish. Now, again, as I said, it's out of 6. Now, listen to this. Cut, so the cutting capability of this polish is a 4 out of 6. So that's extremely high. It's probably matching the compound strength on some of the compounds. And obviously the gloss is got 6 out of 6. Now the beauty of this is, if you've got a car that is not that bad, or you've got a car that's bad, but it's got medium to soft paint, you can use this as a compound and as a finishing polish, or as a one step if you use the right pad. But the way this finishes, I mean the gloss, and the way this wipes, this is why when I was talking about the reflect, I said until the next point that I move on to, this makes this look like a 1920s product. Sonac's perfect finish is just, to me now, the king. So again, as I said, honoring the source, mad obsessed. I thought I'm gonna buy it. So it's not cheap, don't get me wrong, this is the most expensive product I've ever bought in this type of product. It's ridiculous amount of money. So for a big bottle, I mean, you could be, I think, is it 60, 70 quid? Which, I mean, compounds are expensive, but not that expensive. So you can see I've got a few little bottles here and there, but that's because when the UK importers run out of the big stuff, and you know, I've got a car that I want to do, I want to trial something. Obviously, I normally buy the bigger bottles, but when they run out, I just, you know, buy lots of small bottles, which is even more expensive if you add it up per litre. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. So again, there's actually a full bottle of the perfect finish. Again, I think they've changed the branding. I think this is the newer one, this is the older one. But honestly, guys, my recommendation, I make no money off this. I've got no discount codes for you. So, but in fact, I recommended this to a customer of ours. He had some ridiculous old RS Cosworth that was in a bad shape, and it needed some polishing. So I said, look, get these. It'll be the most expensive thing you'll ever buy, but it'll be the best thing you'll ever buy. And he came in a couple of weeks later and he said, wow. And he kind of confirmed with me, especially about the perfect finish. He said, I've never used a product like it. So if you're into your polishing, again, I always recommend via the machine, but if you're into hand polishing, even try Sonac's perfect finish. It's unbelievable. So again, this lots of smaller bottles of the same product that I've talked about. I've got a Rupes ultra fine, so it's not a finish and polish, it's actually one step above that. It's pretty much got no abrasive in it, and in essence you're kind of like jeweling the paint up. So imagine the paint's already perfect and you want to just hit it with, again, this is a color coded system from Rupes. So the white pad, this is the softest pad that they do, with the softest finish and polish that they do. So if you really want to like make the car pop, to me this step is unnecessary, if I'm completely honest with you, because once you get done with the perfect finish, it's amazing. But yeah, that's it. I tried a bit of Corporal Fixer, which is an in-between, so not a compound, not a finish and polish. This is in between, so a one step. I'm trying to break it down as simply and as stupidly as I can. I can say it a lot quicker, but I may confuse you. So yeah, it's an in-between. If you want to do a one quick step, it cuts a little bit and it finishes really well. So good product. It's nice to have a little bottle of this if the job dictates. So these are all our polishes. This is just a bag full of charges for what I'm about to show you. So I'm a big proponent of Scan Grip. I've got every one of their lights, bar the big tripod light, because I've never needed to use it because we've got really good light in here. So everything is handheld. So we've got, this is for Kelly. This was her request. She wanted to wear a Scan Grip head torch inside. She never works without a light. In fact, she turns all the lights in here off when we used to do cars. So I would just leave her. I'd go next door, do something else, and she would have the lights off, and she would literally use these three items, one in her head, obviously this, to move around the car, and she never does an interior detail without any kind of forced induction lighting. So again, very, very expensive for what they are. This is a light, but the technology within the lights is amazing. So buy it once, buy it right, and buy the best. So scan grip are amazing. This is my personal favorite. Well, it's between this and this. That's my washing machine singing to me, it's done. Again, I very rarely use natural or light in here. Yes, it's good, it picks up certain imperfections, but these bad boys, they always pick up the worst, if so to speak. So this bag basically complements these lights, because every time you buy a light, you get a new charger, so they're our spare chargers. Obviously, that's a port for this, like that. You can charge it that way. This was given to us for free. This is just another light. Again, it's not the best. Again, it's got two, so 1, 2. It's all right. It's got not a patch in it, but because it was free, I just keep it for the odd job, or if I'm, just looking inside a door shut or two. So this is a paint depth gauge, and we've got the sanding blocks from KXK Dynamics in the US. Soft blocks, hard blocks. Very rarely that we've had to actually sand the car. We've done a few kind of sanding jobs, but still, these will probably last me a lifetime. And then coming on to the final bit, we've got all the pads. Now, I have bought these in the past, so these are the Chemical Guys Hexlogic pads, the original Hexlogic pads that everyone's now trying to copy. They're good, really nice. I've never used, in fact, I'm going to start with the right order of things. So I'm going to start on the left side here. And we never cut, this is what I was going to say about the foam. I never use aggressive foam to cut the car. I only use microfiber. And if people say, well, what happens if a car doesn't need microfiber? Well, in that case, the car might get away with a nice pad with something like a Sonax Perfect Finish. And that's a one step. So there's a mixed review on what I've just said, but it's always worked for us. Now, I always cut with microfiber. The best microfiber pads in the world are the Meguiar's microfiber pads. They make these in-house. Truly, I'll leave this one to the side. They're truly amazing. Very, very expensive. You go through them like hell. Probably a pad like this. So for a pack of 2, is it 10, 15 quid? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And these, to me personally, I've probably used them twice, maybe 3 times. It depends on the level of the car that we're doing, if it's really bad. But yeah, so for £7 a pad, you could get probably 2 to 3 uses out of it. So not the best value for money, but it's the best. So as you can see here, we've got a whole stack of the 5-inch, so to complement our big Rupes machine. So these are the 5-inch pads. I put this to the side because this is an interesting one. So these pads are made in China, obviously, because they are local to CarPro, who are in Korea. Now this is, it looks weird, look. So it's not microfiber, it's not foam. So this is a velvet pad, so orange peel pad. So it's a velvet pad, they call it. You're meant to use it with something like either Reflect, which is a soft polish, or a little bit of Fixer. Like I said, it's a one-step polish. And this is an orange peel removal pad. So you're going to see no hazing. You've got to be very, very careful with this, because you may not feel any heat, you may not feel any or see any huge differences, but this actually removes the waviness in the paint, the orange peel. Used it once, and yeah, it's good. It's not too bad. So we always keep one if we ever need to do like a spot orange peel removal on a roof spray or anything like that. And then obviously, like I said, again, always microfiber from Meguiar's. So again, there's a huge stack of these that we always buy them in, always hoard them. You can never have too many. These were custom cut, so I custom cut these. I'll show you, I don't know where it's gone. It's here somewhere, but it's called a Pad Punch from KXK, who do sanding blocks. It's basically a big round ring, really sharp. It's been on a lathe, and you put it down on, let's say, a pad like this. So imagine that's the size of the lathe, right? You get a hammer and you just hammer it in. So, because these are where is it? So the 3-inch pads are very expensive. Again, the same as the 5-inch pads. Now, nobody does custom sized pads in Maguire's, you know, like the small ones. So we can do 2 inches as 2 inch, you can do 1 inch, stuff like this. And it actually works out a lot cheaper. So I bought one and I thought, let's try it. So yeah, it's not too bad. If you look, so this is their standard 3-inch, and you would put it against that, and that's a 2-inch pad, and you can even go smaller and make it a 1-inch pad and all that sort of stuff. So if you're using very small machines in very tight areas, it's cool. And I'm just at the minute, I'm testing the Lake Country pads. I've heard good things about them, so I bought a bunch of them. So 3-inch, 2-inch, and my personal favorites, the little teeny weeny 1 inches. So we'll rip them out now. Right, so moving into order, refining the car, foam, again, Hex Logics. I'm going to bin these, I'm going to explain to you why. So there's a lot of money gone down the drain there. If you watch the Mustang correction video, we got sent these pads to various lengths. As you can see, they're very thin in comparison to something like this. There's actually quite a big difference. So I didn't really get on with them, if I'm completely honest. I gave the review to the company who sent them to us privately, of course, and I wasn't a big fan. Now, the reason I'm throwing all the Hex Logics into the bin is because I'm transitioning completely to the to the Rupes pads, and because I believe the Rupes foam pads are just the best in the world, best on the planet. A lot of people may disagree with me on this one. Obviously, everyone has their favorite, but the Rupes name, like I always say, it needs no introduction, it needs no defending. Rupes or Rupes. So they make these in-house as well. They've got their own specialist foam cut machines. So the yellow pad is the finishing pad, but it's aggressive enough to use it as potentially a further step up to like a one-step job. But we keep these as a one-step. So as you've seen, this is brand new out the box, so I haven't had actually the chance to unpack these at all, which I will do now. So that's Rupes, and again, the Rupes little 3-inch pads, which haven't had the chance to open them either yet. No, these are, that landed the right way. So, see, but that's the beauty of Swiss tracks. It doesn't actually land on the floor. So these are the original 3-inch pads, but I'm going to show you something. They've just come out, I'll talk about these in a second. They've just come out with their most recent iteration of a V2 of their pad, which I'll show you the difference. So this is their usual pad. It's got quite an aggressive cut, as you can see. So it just goes like this, whereas this, now you can see there's even more of kind of an oval shape to it. They all look the same from this side, but you twist them and you can see that this is new, this is old. So I decided to buy a few of these as well, just to trial them and see if I can see any difference between the V1 and the V2. And then obviously you've got the white pads from I keep saying Maguire's, from Rupes. These are like the ultra fine. If you've got finicky paint, and the yellow ones are a little bit too aggressive and they're leaving marks behind when you're refining, you can switch to an even softer foam, and this usually helps. So these are the whites, and you've got obviously an assortment of the tiny little white ones again from Rupes, where I got it right this time on Maguire's, and the little ones as well for the yellow. Again, 2-inch. Now, these Hex Logics, I mean, I don't know. I've got a ton of them. That's the problem. And I don't like wasting money, and these are fairly new. I've used them once or twice. Now, foam you can reuse more than 2 or 3 times the microfiber because you're doing a less aggressive task with them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I've got 12 pads. They're probably, I don't know, how much are they? £5 a pop. So what's that? 60 quid. I don't particularly want to throw 60 quid out, but I don't know. I'll put them to the side for now. I may decide to keep them, but most likely not. Now we've took everything out, let's put everything back in. I'm going to try and do this in order. Oh, these little tiny red pads. This was a pad punched by myself. They're definitely going in the bin. But these are from Lake Country. These are just too soft for me. As you can see, I don't have to put much pressure and they just go. So when you're putting these against some serious work, they don't really do much benefit to me. In fact, this one's brand new. Haven't used this one, but as you can see, this one's already washed, so it's drained a little bit of color out of it. But again, a little bit too soft. And in here, you've got the rechargeable port for the hybrid nano from YumCars, which is again awesome to have. Means you can always go cordless and keep one on charge, just for good measure. And I've got some 3M sanding discs in here. I'm going to keep these because I think the GTS may need a few spots. So I'm going to leave this in the corner. Right, so let's put them back. I like to do everything in order, obviously from cutting all the way to finishing. So let's put the Maguire's pads. Oh, I love these. DMC5, made in the USA. Product code D8280, if you're ever interested. So let's do it in order. So we've got 5-inch, we've got 3-inch. Gets quite addictive to actually make them straight. And then we've got the 2-inch. In fact, no, we'll put 3 inches together. So again, we've got 3-inch from Lake Country. And then we'll go in order. So 2 and 2. Like this. And then the 1-inch from Lake Country again. Probably put them in front. Boom. And then same again with the finishing foam. So we'll start with the most aggressive, even though this isn't that aggressive. Yeah, because YumCars are having a real issue. So this is their 5-inch foam pad, but YumCars are having an issue with supply lines at the minute. In terms, I don't know why. Everywhere you look, it's out of stock. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the world's shortage of foam. I don't know why that would ever happen, but it has happened. So I've only got the one of these, which I'm waiting. As soon as they come in stock, I'm going to buy like 50 of each, just so I don't have this problem again. 3 and 3. It's just nice to be organized, isn't it? Everything's in order. Everything's nice. So 2-inch again, we'll put here, and then the 1 and 1. We'll put them respectfully next to their respective colours. So now time to put the bottles back. I like to do in order of aggressiveness. So the cutting will be on the left, followed by obviously medium, all the way to the refine and polishers. So cut max. Let me just arrange these properly. So cut max. It's not the best. It's not the best way of utilizing space, because obviously you can probably put in like 4 deep. But if I want to do a specific product, rather than taking it all out, you know, and getting one from the back, I can just pick it up right from the front, which is the best way. And then the ultra fine from YumCars. I'm gonna put this behind. I probably never will use it. Guys, if you haven't had the opportunity to try some of the scan grip equipment out, so the lights, I highly recommend. Again, spending a little bit more money than you normally would, but it's seriously the best. So some good stuff they do. Now, I didn't think this out. My gloves, right? Nice and tight, but it fits. Oh, in fact, this it is from Manzerna, but it's not anything to do with the paint correction side. It's actually Manzerna Power Lock. What a product! Again, I'm just testing it against some of our stuff, which is in the pipeline, so you have to do these things, buy them, try them, you know. So in regards to the pads which you see in the corner, I've just decided I'm going to put them in the bin. I bought them to experience different type of foam. Again, I mean, these 4 were given to me free of charge. Now, they're not the best, but not competing with YumCars or anywhere near it, so I'm not going to use them, and I don't want to hoard product. As you can see, I just sometimes, I've got a tendency to maybe put them in the cupboard and forget about them, but I'll never use them, so might as well use this opportunity to just put them in the bin, and that's it. And obviously this, so the YumCars charger, we will, if we have a little bit of time, because I do realize it's already a long video, but hopefully getting some value from it. But if we do all the cabinets, I might put them in here. I'll show you what's in there as well. It's like a miscellaneous drawer. But let's go into the microfiber cupboard, because basically this cupboard here, there's no point me showing you in there. So we've integrated our washing machine, drying machine, and all the stuff that you need to wash your microfiber with in there. So it's nothing interesting apart from a washer, dryer, and that's it really. So onto the microfiber towel, you may find some value out of that one, and we can both have a laugh about some of the towels that are in there. Now, one of the most used cupboards that we have in here, we'll probably go in here pretty much every day. And the first 3 shelves now, well, the first 4 shelves were the microfiber shelves. So we had separated them into interior, exterior, obviously wheels, dry and all that sort of stuff. Now, we've been moving these shelves up and down, left to right as much as we could over the last couple of months. And we weren't sure on the configuration. Now, I know the configuration, I think now, is just about nailed. So the towels are in a bit of a mess, because we wash them, we dry them, we put them back into the original areas. Now, because we've got new towel lines, we've got new stuff being added all the time, and we haven't really kind of put them as organized as we could, because, as I said, there's been a reorganization of shelves. So we used to just take the towels off, put them back in. Now, the bottom 2 shelves were they're more development kind of shelves as well. So we usually hold in here either our 5-litre variant, so for personal use, and obviously the Hoover was down below as well, but at the minute that's next door. So I'll show you some of the stuff that was in here. So I've labelled them as, obviously with our little sticky labels, but this is a water-based dressing, which everybody has seen on the how to do an engine bay detail, and this is the one that we always get asked about. Now it's still here, it's still being worked on, and hopefully, you know, something might happen sooner rather than later. Now again, we've got it's labeled IPA, but this is a panel wipe, so there's a difference between a panel wipe and an IPA. Panel wipe does contain IPA, but sometimes it contains other things too, sometimes it doesn't. So I'll give you an example of something like G-Technic panel wipe, G-On panel wipe. The one I haven't tried, which I need to try, is the Corpro Racer. Now, they're all classed as panel wipes, whereas the difference that I know about anyway is I know the G-Technic has got other things in there which makes it slightly more aggressive, whereas the G-On IPA is a little bit, you know, weaker. And when I say weaker, it's not as aggressive to remove all the oils. Now, this is our version, and again, we're just playing around with it, seeing what extra we can add to it, what we can't add to it. So again, these are just things that we use from time to time and test them. So this might not see the light on the market in probably, I don't know, a year, maybe 6 months, maybe 2 years, who knows. So yeah, this is a panel wipe. Now this is a rinse on, a spray on rinse off coating. Now this is the same as I showed you in the exterior cupboard. Now we've just diluted this down, and we're just testing to see how much we can dilute it down to use it in a spray bottle, and whether it offers the same protection through, say, this application rather than through a foam lance or vice versa. Spray wax. Now this is the loose version of the spray wax. We've been working on various consistencies, so the really thick stuff where it's barely sprayable to really, really loose stuff, and anywhere in between. So we like medium viscosity, thick viscosity. So this is the very low viscosity version. We're just seeing really not the durability, because the durability of a spray wax really shouldn't be there, because that's the job of a liquid wax, and obviously paste waxes, the ceramic waxes, all that sort of stuff. But if we can pump this 2 to 4 weeks, even though you wash your car every week, you should be able to top this weekly on top of your car, and just to start slowly building a laser protection up. But again, as you've seen, there's a few colors which are fairly similar, so I like to just write on them. This way I know, obviously half the time I can just open the bottle and smell it, and I know what it is. But if you're tired, you know, mistakes can be made, so I don't want to, for example, use a tar remover, which I'm about to show you, which is a very similar color to this, as a spray wax, or vice versa. And then obviously, as I told you, tar, this is it's not the same color, but it's just similar. So obviously this is spray wax, this is the tar remover. Now, this is, have I spilled some on myself there? See, I knew what it was when I spilled it. So this is a citrus-based version of a tar remover. Now, tar or tar removers usually are solvent-based, which is obviously obvious, but we've tried to add a little bit more bite to it, so the citrus elements works hand in hand with the solvent. And we're actually seeing, obviously the best color to test this on is a white tar, because tar is the most visible, or iron as well. And we're just seeing how strong we can go, how weak we can go, how reactive, how unreactive. As I said, when you start taking things out, more things can be put in, or when you start putting more things in, something has to drop. So we just use this again, time to time, when we're doing that sort of experiment, or in fact, we've got a white car, so we sometimes wouldn't wash our car for 6 weeks and just try to pick up as much motorway mileage as we can, especially in this type of weather. So December, January, February, it's tar central all over the joints. So this is actually a good time to test a product like this. But again, we're just working on it and seeing what happens and where we can push it. And to be honest, we've got a few more empty 1 litre bottles which aren't important. We're testing this, it's really cool, this little thing. So this is a filler which you can screw on to any bottle, so you can do it on a 24mm neck, which is, for example, our compact bottles, and a 24mm neck basically means you get them stupid little triggers with them, which unfortunately you can't help if you've got that style neck. Or this can also fit a 28mm neck, which is a 500ml 1 litre bottle, and this is where you can take the big triggers, or our triggers, or anything like that. So we're testing this. This is from the States. Again, it's white. It's not the colour that we would go for. We can have it manufactured any colour we want. But we're just trialing it. This is kind of an easy fix. It has a little hook here where you can angle up on the wall if you're that way inclined. So you just screw this in, pour your chemical in from, say, a 5 litre or a gallon container, and take it off, rinse under the tap, and it's good to go. Relatively inexpensive and very durable, because it'll never get dropped or driven over. But yeah, we're testing a few of these, and this is an oil, so it's a car oil, but the type of consistency that it is, we use this for our Kranzel pressure washer. So we've had this for almost 2 years, and it's half full. This is how little it takes, but we'll just keep some oil in there. So, as I said, let's have a laugh about some towels. Like I've already mentioned, we've randomly been sent weird towels from all over the place. America, China, South Korea. Obviously, you know, South Korea is the best place to make the best microfiber. Nobody will ever argue about that. China is catching up. However, South Korea is the king, okay? Just like you could say about certain other places around the world are the best at what they do in that type of industry. So we never asked for these towels. We never, you know, pay or say, oh, can we have a sample? We just focus with our manufacturer, and we try and make the best towel that you can possibly get in the world today. But from time to time, we will receive packages, and say, guys, please test this out. Here's our contact details. If you want manufacturing, even though I know they're not, like these people who sent them are manufacturers, we thought, okay, let's try them. But some towels, we use them once and we think, oh my God, it's just horrific. Now, you're going to laugh about some of these towels. So I'm going to, in the process of talking about this, I will start rearranging the shelf as well. Ooh, and you'll get to see some of our potential newer towel lines coming in the future. Whether that makes to kind of fruition or not, I'm not too sure. So let's have a laugh first, rather than get into the serious stuff. So this towel was sent to us. Now when you look at just, oh, what a horrible towel. Now, this is a drying towel. It's quite a big towel. And they've tried to mimic the new, is it the rag company gauntlet? Now, I know who makes that towel. Obviously, the rag company don't technically manufacture towels, they buy them in, but they've got factories who do all the work for them. Now, I know the two people or the two places in the world that make the gauntlet. And this company has quite clearly tried to rip that towel off. I've spoken to a few people. I know they've had to have a patent on the design of the towel, which is really, really interesting. There's a lot of money involved in this kind of manufacturing process because they've tried to do something different. As you can see on this towel, there's lines, so like a short nap, long nap towel. Same thing with the gauntlet, but obviously a lot better. So we got sent this towel, and to be fair, haven't even used it. There is no way this is going on any of my paint. It's just, yeah, this never is going to get used on our car. So this is still a brand new towel. I mean, the quality of it, look, it's been washed once, and you could see all the threads and the stitch. I mean, what's this? Look at that. All these things just hanging off. So that's the first, actually, towel that I just think, wow, they're clearly taking intellectual property from a company which has paid a lot of money to get the special cutting machines in to make, obviously, the lines and the patterns in there. And this company has quite clearly just said, I'm going to rip you off. So yeah, I don't really appreciate this. And it would, even if this was a good towel, I would never, ever try and use somebody who's knocked off another company, if I'm completely honest. So this towel will either get binned or it's going to get used on wheels. So when you're drying wheels, that's the only painted surface that'll ever go on the car. But even then, I'm going to just chuck this because I normally blow my wheels off. But that's the first joke towel. Now, a few other joke towels. Now, this is a very standard double-sided twist loop. Now, like I've always said, the two best blends in the industry for drying a car is waffle weave and twist loop. End of story. There's nothing else. I'm happy to have that argument with anybody. So the twist loop is actually a really, really nice towel. However, it depends where the twist loop's made again. So if a twist loop's made in one part of the world, okay, and another part of the world, okay. And there's a very big difference in quality. Now, this towel is made in the first place in the world, not the very best quality. I've washed it once, and there's just a roughness to it. I know twist loop isn't the softest blend in the world, but you can hear that. It's really, really rough, and I really don't like this. It's lost most of its color already. You think this is bright on camera. It actually was a lot brighter when it first arrived. So another joke towel. And another one, same company. It's actually a thicker blend this time. I think this is 1100 GSM or 1200 GSM. Now, lost all its color, really rough. We'll never see the paint. Again, I've just smashed them in there just for now because I haven't had much time with this, but I appreciate you guys sending us this. However, it's just, it don't compete. Now, this is just a single-sided one, so there's a thicker side to it. Actually, this is a really nice towel, this, and a shorter nap towel. So this is actually okay. We do use this from time to time, free testing. Now, what's interesting, very interesting, this is a towel from, as you can see, it's a lot bigger. This is a towel from Our People. This is 1400 GSM, really thick, really absorbent. The stitching is just, as you would expect, perfect. Now the color, there's a little bit of a snag there, but I caught this on the car, so you can't blame anyone else but myself. But apart from that, the stitching everywhere is amazing. Now, twist loop towels are going all over the place in the world, and if you do a little bit of research, so I was shocked about this. So I asked about the price on this towel, and obviously we got given the price, and the price doesn't really change because this is a really expensive blend to make. Now, when I did a little bit of research from either brands who sell a towel like this or resellers, you know, and there's a huge variation. Now, when I say huge, the huge variation is actually down on the bottom end. There's only a handful of people in the world who sell a towel of this size, of that thickness, at the correct price. Now, I go back to our manufacturer and I said, look, how can a company claim to have, let's say, the same towel, the same length, the same width, the same GSM, for £10, yet somebody else has the same towel and sells it for £30, right? Because automatically you would think, well, somebody's ripping somebody off here. Now, obviously he said, well, where's this company getting the towels made? I don't know the true answer to that. I can guess sometimes, and some of them is really obvious, but on some companies you really don't know. But at that pricing point, you can tell where it's coming from. Now, I now understand when we get sent towels from other suppliers or other not warehouses, other manufacturers, like true manufacturers, and you get sent a really premium version of the same towel from our manufacturer, we now know where the pricing comes into it. So I really, really like this towel. It's a double-sided twist loop, so the twist loop is on both sides, the one side and the second side. It's huge. You can use this as a bath towel, I think. It's amazing. So I could have this in the future. I've used this a few times. This can do 3 cars. I've got 3 cars out of this, and it was at that point where the 3rd car, it just started to move a little bit of water towards the end of the car drying process. So amazing towel. I may introduce this into the line at some point. We may want to make it actually even thicker, a little bit larger. So imagine if you could make this like 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters, so it would come out to here. It's just amazing. So the proper double-sided twist loops, really worth their money. While we're on the version of twist loops, I haven't had the chance to use this. Again, this is Our People. Now this is a tiny, teeny, weeny one, as you could see. You can almost fold it in like a buffing towel. Look at that. Boom. Obviously, you don't use it for buffing. However, it's a very nice size, but just look at this. It's very manageable. This is 1100 GSM. Oh, in fact, the orange towel I showed you, I think, was 1100 GSM. This is 1100 GSM, and even just picking them up, feeling them, it's a huge difference. Now, I haven't actually used this towel at all because I keep looking at it. Because it's fresh, so when there's a new towel involved, it feels so nice, and I don't want to kind of touch this or ruin it on a car or anything like that. However, I was thinking of potentially, we're starting to maybe develop multiple lines of microfiber at the same time, and you can use them for other processes. So at the minute we've got one for a true exterior product, a true interior product, and a true drying product. Now, whether we introduce a secondary drying product to complement our waffle weaves, which dry like crazy, for the thinness of the towel, you've got to remember how thin the towel is. So the actual blend itself is holding so much, I think it's like 8-9 times the weight of the towel it can hold in water, which is crazy. So I'm not sure whether to introduce a second line of drying towels, or like in this case, a towel of this size. It's not the thickest double twist loop, but it's not also the thinnest, but it's very manageable. Even just the size of the towel is good. I mean, this could be used as a door jam towel. So we start to really specify lines. This could be used as a wheel drying towel. You just never know. So this is another reason why I haven't unpacked it, in terms of I've never used it. But in fact, this would be interesting. Let me know, would you want to see a more of a dedicated line? So for example, our plush towel is amazing at removing compound to like level and spray wax, so the hardest to the easiest. Or would you want maybe 2-3 lines of plush towels which have got different blends, different GSMs, and you can have one for compound removal, one for wax removal or application of ceramics. So again, all these different things require different blends, different pile heights and thicknesses. So interesting. If you've made it this far into the video, let me know in the comments whether you like the sheer simplicity of the line, or whether you would like a couple more per category and increase the categories as well of towels. This will be interesting. But yeah, this is an awesome towel. Keeping with the microfiber line. Now I've never liked the towel. I mean, this is an exterior paint towel, so detail sprays, wax and stuff like that. But it's an odd size. I think it's a 16 by 24. But as you can see, it's never a perfect square. It's more of a rectangle. So when you're buffing the paint, it would be nice to, but then again, look, you fold it and it's a bit too thick. So really soft towels, I must admit. Oh, in fact, this variant is the same as this variant, where this is a true square, as you can see. So you can fold it evenly, and you can hammer it on the paint. But this is just such a nice towel. It's very thick, the blends. Just look at the fibers. Fibers are so nice. It's, oh, lovely towel. We use this for the wax stages, the application of detail spray, removal of detail spray. It's just a very nice, thick towel where you won't harm your paint. So these two towels are the same, 2 different sizes. Still working through, really testing them. Don't like this towel. This is meant to be a bigger version of this. This is like 900 GSM. It's too thick. Yeah, really not happy with that. This is a bigger version of the blue towel. This is, I think, like 1,000 or 1,200 GSM. Yeah, I mean, just look how you probably can't tell this through the camera, but it's a very stiff towel. So not happy with that either. These are ours. Ooh, last thing. So you saw the blue towels. Now this is the interesting one. It's been said it's designed for the interior. Now I think it's ridiculous because it's too plush for the interior. It's going to leave lint. You can't use the sunglasses, no way. It's a bit too tight for me. So yeah, it's not to our spec. However, we're potentially trying to get this obviously wider, so it's not as tight, because my hand does look like it's really cramped, which it is. But we're either trying to get it in the blend of our plush towels, which if you used our plush towels, you know, they're very soft, they're very absorbent, they can actually hold a lot of product, they can pull a lot of product. We're either going to try and do it in this blend, in this mitt, or, before I go any further, we are really edging towards this towel. So this is an edgeless 550 GSM or 500. So it's not too thick, but it's not too thin. Now, as I said, it's edgeless. It's ultrasonic cuts, which is very nice. So all the cuts are just immense. Now, just bear this in mind when you're going to be cutting, say, 20,000 towels. 1 or 2 of them may obviously have a frayed edge, but you will never see this because we actually handpick all our towels, we lay them out, we check them out. So this is before we package them and send them out. So this will not be a problem, but as I said, any rejects we get to use. But this towel, so it's 550, and I think the red one, slightly thicker, about 650, 700. Now I'm not too keen on the super thick towels, but I'm not super keen on the super thin towels either. So the 300, I mean, people say the sweet spot for removing compound is about 300 GSM, so really quite similar to our utility towels. Now I don't believe this. I prefer a thicker towel because I can put a bit more weight behind it. So this towel, if I need to check this, it's definitely not 550 because I know that's on the higher end of 500 and 600. So this could be 450, 500. But this towel is just so soft. And we've had this in testing for about a year now. So this is a year-old towel. Color hasn't changed. Oh, it leaves a nice imprint of your hand. But you could just see how good the fiber is. It just conforms to your hand, it'll conform to your paint, super soft, edgeless, which is, I do like edgeless variants of towels as well, but like I was saying, with a mitt, either have it in this blend or our plush towel blend. Now, it would be nice because you can potentially have two on your hand. Imagine they're perfectly fitted, so not like that. You've got a bit of room to move around, and you can have a couple for your wheels, you can have a couple for your paint. So imagine you've waxed your paint, you can have it on both hands. You can have it obviously on one hand like this, so that way you'll never drop the towel. You can do it on the lower panels of the car. So it's interesting developments that we've got on, but I've showed you at least 3 different towel types that we're looking at. This is good, but as I said, a bit too thick for me. So yeah, those are the towel blends. Let me know what you're thinking. Oh, some of the joke towels, as you can see, they're on the top, never get used. So look at the size of it. I mean, this towel's huge. Huge towel. This is meant to be a drying towel. So we got sent this again from another company, and let me tell you, this doesn't dry anything. Especially, imagine, I'm talking about a highly protected car, there's beads everywhere. You can drag most towels over it and it'll be dry. This just moves water, horrific. So I keep this for the floor, for the Swiss track. So when I'm up it, I get on my hands and knees and I use this just to dry it. And this is obviously the baby brother of this, same towel, slightly smaller in size and weight. Again, it really doesn't dry much. So these are relegated to immediately to the towel duties, and there's a lot of those towels are relegated to the towel duties, but this just proves a point. Now, if you just listen to me, I know what I'm talking about. The thickest towels aren't always the best. We're just talking about the drying stage here. Now, people always try and push for the thickest, the biggest. I mean, the size of it really doesn't matter, because if the blend's correct, you can actually have a huge towel. I mean, imagine having a towel of this size in a twist loop, it'll be amazing. Now, people go for like these fluffy, ridiculous towels, which, yes, they may dry a roof or two, but then one, they're going to get super heavy, which the twist loop gets super heavy, so it's a kind of a universal issue with big towels. But a lot of these towels don't actually dry very well, and that way you have to then, for example, I'll show you, you'll then have to start getting your hand underneath it, pushing it down on the paint. Again, this can cause issue over the years if you're not washing your car properly, you're leaving a bit of dirt behind, you're putting pressure on a towel to try and dry up the water, and obviously get swirls and scratches. So with towels, we've been very fortunate to be sent some of the best towels in the world, and we keep getting sent the best towels in the world. And obviously we manufacture from one of the best manufacturers going, and it's really nice to do this. So we've had the experience of the best microfiber, the worst microfiber, and there's obviously anywhere in between. But these towels, honestly, pay a little bit more money, don't be cheap, and buy some serious microfiber. And that's kind of anything with car care. Buy the best you can afford, don't skimp out on cost, and you will actually have some of the best. I mean, some of our towels in here have been going for 2.5 years, and I can wipe a black car, which is clean obviously, and there'll be nothing left behind, no swirls, no scratching, no marring. So it just proves to you, yet you can take a junky towel, wash it a few times, and it's literally like, well, you heard the sound. It's almost like rough plastic. You put that on any paint, especially black, boom, swirl. So just pay due diligence. And in terms of the oh, by the way, I found the bloody clay block. This is a different actual pad, but the clay block, look at that. It's interchangeable. So the clay that you saw in the exterior cupboard, was the proper clear block. We've just kept this for storage because I can put it face down like this. But yeah, this is lovely. This is lovely. You can put it in some shampoo, foam the car if you want, like this, or you can use it with, again, a detail spray formula if you're inside and you're out the way. Lovely. So I did find this eventually. And I think in terms of the rest, I'll be honest, this is just all our stuff. So we've got a nice little a de-duster, that's what this is. So we do blow the car off all the time, but not on glass. We don't really use this on paintwork that much. But if we've got a lot of dust on the glass, which won't blow off because it's become stuck or something, we'll use air or just this on its own and de-dust it. So again, it's relatively simple and relatively cheap. And that's it. So here I've got some microfiber blocks which we use for application of sealants to either plastics, so interior plastics, or leathers, mainly leathers to be honest. So once you give these a wash out the pack immediately to get rid of any manufacturing dust, dirt, lint, these are really good, really durable. I personally wouldn't use these on the paint if I'm completely honest with you, but for leathers, when you're putting the sealant down, this is really nice because you can just butterfly it and work yourself in. You can really pinch it, keep it large. It depends on the area that you're working on. And to be honest, that's it. So we used to, ooh, no, that is not it. So this has been a long time. People have been waiting, they've been messaging us. I don't know if you can see that here, something white. So we've told people we've finally cracked the wash, say, media. I'm going to explain to you. So the reason I use wash media is because you can have wash mitts, wash pads, microfiber, synthetic wool, real wool, you know, you can keep going. So we've been testing for a long, long time. I prefer pads, only because, okay, I've got big hands, but they hold more water, you can get more surface area done. It's just as easy to dunk them in your rinse bucket, rinse them out and wring them out, and it's done. So we've been testing upon testing upon testing, and it's been an absolute nightmare because we refuse to go to a generic reseller, buy something for £1 and sell it for £8.75, like a lot of them do, on £9.95 or whatever it is. And we just refuse to do that, because if you look at most of the car care brands, now I'm not mentioning names, but you know, you can read between the lines, and basically what we're seeing is the same thing. It's always the same, it's the same. Yes, like I said, the shampoo's the same as everybody else's shampoo because it foams and it cleans, but there's very big differences in the best and in the worst. Same thing I find with microfiber. So, as I said, we refuse to do that. It really pains me and it really annoys me that people are all going, it's as if, I'll give you an analogy, it's as if people in the know, and to be honest, I actually don't know this, but I'm guessing it works like this because when we've tried to find, it's really hard for us to actually nail something. And what it seems like, they all pick up their phone, they go onto this one website and they order this one wash mitt or this wash pad or whatever. And it all seems to come from the same source, it's priced the same, it's got the same crap packaging, and the only difference is there's a different brand on there, and I think it's just atrocious. So we've been battling this for a long time, but eventually we told people we've nailed the design, we've nailed everything else that comes with it, the blend, the weight, blah, blah, and basically we've ordered it. Now, obviously, because you know what's happening in the world, the whole shipping thing has been an absolute nightmare. I'll give you an example. Our foam cannons were meant to arrive a month ago, and apparently they're at the port, but we ring the port, and the port tell us that they've had to dock the ship, but because they're that busy, they've had to undock the ship and tell it to go back out to sea for a week and just relax or whatever, and then come back, undock again, you know. So this is the same thing, but it's finally arrived, it's months late, but before I show you the finished project, I'm going to show you some of the test pilots. So our first ever iteration was, it was all microfiber, which the blend of it still is amazing, but it's what's inside that counts. Now, we've been putting, so obviously, there's nothing wrong with this wash pad, even now, but what's inside the wash pad is you can do various things. You can have it foam inserted, you can have it stitched, you can have it stitched in the middle, and 14 different other ways. And we wash the car, we put this into the washing machine because it's microfiber, you can do that. And we see how many wash cycles can this last. Now this, again, is like I said, there's nothing wrong with this, but the material inside the wash pad doesn't take kindly to washing machines, especially the high spin rates, you know, the 1400 RPMs and stuff. So this died on us in terms of it's like really deformed. So that's that. We then bounce back to synthetic wool. Now this, really nice, really nice. You can see how floppy this is, which means it's very contourable. You can squish it like this, look, you can, and it always comes back in the same shape. The material itself's nice, it's white, which means you can see what you're picking up. This is machine washer friendly, you can just chuck it in, and that's it. You can put it in tumble dry on low heat. So this was a really good thing for us, but we just couldn't nail, where is it? If you look, it has to be stitched. So I understand we managed to get the stitch into where it was as soft as possible, but still, on the off chance you catch some dirt, which doesn't come out the stitching, for example, then you wipe it and it scratches, who knows. So we came off this idea fairly quickly, and then we went back to microfiber again. So we tried some smaller sizes. Now within here, as you could see, it's a little bit harder to squeeze. So we used a whole different backing material. Now again, this was made to order. So every time you have to do this, it's expensive because it's labor hours involved and all that sort of stuff. I'm excluding shipping here and the time waited. So we've used a different material from something like this. You may probably not see this through camera, but the way it feels to me, it just is slightly different. Now it's very stiff. Now when this dries, it's actually really, really stiff. So you've got to dunk it into the water to kind of, I'm guessing behind here, from what I remember, it's almost like a leather. So you know when leather gets wet, it dries, it's like really stiff. So you would have to redunk it back into the water to soften it up. Now also we tried the different sizes because Kelly's point was, you know, she's got small hands, and once something like this gets wet, it can get quite heavy, but it's easy anyway. So we tried the smaller sizes. We both, after a while, we decided that the sizing, it wasn't exactly the best. We went back to some more microfiber, this time with a different, again, you could see just how floppy that became. Now this was, I think, this was 99% for us. And then we tried another blend where it was microfiber and, oh, I need to find this out, but it's not viscose, no. It was a synthetic material, so it's almost as if they put this material in here. So the blue stuff, you could see is microfiber, but then the white stuff is completely inorganic in terms of it's not microfiber. So it's quite similar to this. So we blended the two together. Really was not a fan of this. It's as if the two didn't work together, and the transfer of suds and slickness, it just was not there for me, especially when we're comparing it to a true microfiber product. Now again, see, this is blue and white, the same as the last one, but it's got a true microfiber. It's just two different colors. Now this, I think we nailed the design with this. The size wasn't right because I wanted to go for a large rectangle. Now the rectangle really didn't work for us, and we then went back to it. And once we decided what was in here, as I said, look, you can squitch this up and it just bounces back. It's really cool. It holds a ton of water. I mean, thank God we've got 24-litre buckets. If you've got our buckets, you see they're huge. So this actually goes hand in hand because it actually drains the water really quick. Now what we received, we went back and forth that much with our manufacturer. By the way, this is the same company who make all of our microfiber lines, so that they know exactly what we want, how we want it. So I think we were in about a couple of grand now into just shipping costs alone, you know, shipping back and forth, back and forth. And I mean, I think the first one, this must have been shipped back and forth across the world about, I don't know, 20 times, because we eventually drew on here in pen and we stapled a few things to it saying we want this different. So at this point we were about 2 grand into shipping. We were, God knows how many thousands into the labor hours, because we had to pay for this, because it's a one-off bespoke custom sample, which we tried to upscale. So the final sample, which I said with this one, it was great. We said, look, we do not want a sample of the final thing. We think we nailed it. We just want the right size. So we measured it out down to a T. We want a completely different microfiber color, but we want the same technology that you did within the one that we 99% liked. We said, cool, no dramas. And they went off, they made it, they sent us a picture, and I said, yeah, I think this is the one. Now, we blindly placed a huge order of these things, you know, huge shipping container worth, and they arrived last week. So obviously I'm opening up the boxes, and I'm like, oh my God, are they going to be great? But what arrived, oh. So as you can see, this is a true square this time. It's a true 100% microfiber, real microfiber. There's none of this messing around with the cheap microfiber. The blends are amazing. The cuts, I don't even know where the hell they've stitched this. It's that good. Again, we need to, as you can probably see, there's a little bit of fluff flying off this, because this is literally, I've just unpacked it from a pack. And I'm going to chuck this into the washing machine, obviously give it a wash. And then I think the first time you're going to see me use this is on the upcoming series, which is hopefully will happen within a week or two, of the GTS full correction package that we're going to do. So during the first few stages outside, you're going to see me use this. But I'm super happy. I mean, people are going to lose their minds because it's white. Like, how stupid are you doing a white microfiber wash pad? But you can wash these. You can literally just put them in there, wash them, and they'll come out as good as new. Again, any ones that we've had with the 50-50 color, there's no dirt in them. Even if you just look at the white bits and not the black bits, there's no dirt. So this transfers suds onto the panel amazingly well. Once it's weighted, the slickness of it is amazing, obviously, because there's water in it and the shampoo solution. And I'm just happy. It's been, I mean, we've waited for months just to get clearance from the bloody port, because obviously there was a lockdown worldwide. Every single port around the world opened. Obviously, as you can imagine, the ships just went, and whichever ports around the world were the main ones that just got hammered with severe volume. So it's been a long development. It's coming out. We're just waiting for our final packaging to arrive. We're in the same position in terms of it's in transit, and it could arrive tomorrow. It could arrive in a month. Hopefully it's tomorrow. But when you guys get it, it's just, I'm just trying to peel it back just to see if there's any imperfections that I could see. But when you guys get it, you're going to absolutely love it, and I'm just super pleased with it. It's white as well. I love white. Absolutely love white. As you can tell from all our microfiber kind of packages, the walls are white, everything's white or black. So it's either white or black. Strange. So you've seen all of our developments so far. We're still awaiting some more work in progress samples that we are working on with microfiber. Like I've already said, answer the question I asked you earlier on about your opinion, because again, without your opinion, it's literally us, and sometimes it's nice to just hear opinion, even if we don't like your opinion. Even if you say make all towers black, we're not going to do it, but it's sometimes nice to hear it, that there are other points of view out there. And if somebody says to us, you want to do a certain blend of towel, and enough people say that, then we probably will do that. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rip this all out in the standard fashion of the video. I'm going to label it, I'm going to pack it all back up evenly, And this gives me the opportunity to actually look through our plush towels, and I'm going to feel every single one of them. I've got now a feel for the towels where you can tell when you've washed a towel too many times. Now, this isn't going to happen anytime soon to you guys, but when we're washing these towels 3 times a week, we expedite the process. Where people wash the towels once a week, we do it 3 times as often during the week. So we actually hammer in our towels 3 times as hard. So it gives me a chance to feel them. If I think they've gone, then they're going to get chucked in the bin. Now, if I rifle through too many of the white towels to go to the wheel towels, I'll just go next door and just take a new stack of towels and obviously start fresh. I do like to change my towels, especially the plush towels, probably once every 12 months. My interior towels once every 6 months, again, because that's a dirty part where you're doing the seats and stuff. And the wheel towels, I literally just keep them for as long as until they become really unusable. So I will pull everything off, give everything a nice IPA blast. In fact, this is a new here. You can see there's a bit of a color difference, but these, I know 1, 2, 3, so there's 5 brand spanking towels there. But you can see just exactly how many towels that we go through. I mean, we just use these all the time. Things of this cabinet is probably the hardest to keep on top of because, again, these towels are perfectly folded. So now we're slowing down on the search of our kind of warehouses and stuff like that. I don't have to receive as many samples, which is good. We'll keep this here. So as I said, there's different blend towels that we have as wheel towels, thicker naps, shorter naps, and because we have like a 99% failure rate with these, because we're so anal, might as well use them on the paint. So again, this is just pure alcohol. It's more of a de-dust. There's never anything leaks in here. Now I'm thinking the top drawer is going to be for our wash pads on one side, and on the other side, with a bit of space in between them, it's going to be our kind of super rejected drying towels, where we will use them for only like the floor mopping duties or for wiping down the desktops with. I mean, look at that towel, it's just a joke. Oh God, some people. It's actually, you know what, it'll be interesting, because I know where this comes from. It'll be interesting to see if this towel appears on the market anywhere, because that'll be a good telltale sign of people's standards. So like I said, so these twist loops are no good, but they do absorb quite well still. So perfect for soaking up water off the floor. And then just to complete the set, I'm just going to put the one in here for now, because I wanted to show you guys, but then I'm going to go next door and I'm going to pick up probably 15, 20 of them and just put them, I like even sets of everything. Now this is our exterior, so it just affords me the ability to actually change the sides pretty much after every swipe. And that means, yes, I may use like 4 or 5 on a car if I'm wiping it down with alcohol or drying the car off with a bit of detail spray, but it just means there's a fresh side every time, so that just reduces the chance of any sort of accidental pickup of contaminants and stuff, because everybody may miss something in time. And because you don't wash your car in like a NASA space center type place, there's always stuff falling onto the car. You know what I'll probably do, realistically, just not to waste time. I know these are brand new, I can feel them. What I'll do is I will just keep the new stack here, like so, and then every other towel in there can become a wheel towel. In fact, before we move on, I'm going to make this, I'm going to make another row. This is going to be our kind of development. Oh, God, as you can see, it's hard to fold. This is massive. This will be our development drying kind of area, even though it's just one towel. Can I fit it on top of here? There we go. So I know drying. Yeah, I might just do it this way. I might just use them a couple more times and then just downgrade them. Or I might not even just waste my time downgrading them and just put them straight in the bin. And then this way I can pull out a stack of 10 if I'm working on a car, I can put it on the central reservation there, wash them all at once, put them back all at once, and that way I'm not kind of not misorganizing them. Now some of the development microfiber, because I've packed it so well, I haven't got anywhere space to go. So that's how it's done. So I've got equal lines of everything. So piles of 10, I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 towels. 60 interior towels, massive overkill, don't really need that many towels. But you never know. I would rather have more towels and not wash them rather than not enough towels and keep just rushing. But sometimes I go through 20, 25 towels on a car, and that's just for the polishing stage. For the waxing stage, I'll go through about 10 again, keep flipping the sides out, so I can actually just put them all into the wash basket and wash them as a one as well. So the interior towel, in fact, we've got one spare white towel which I will not break up my sets of equals, so I will keep this as a wheel towel now. So the interior really isn't that amazing. I need to probably increase the towel size. I mean, I've got about 20 there, I think. I'm going to count them now anyway. All right, so these are on piles of 10 now as well down here. These are my little Hoover attachments, which I'm sure you've all seen when I did the Mercedes. They're cool, but I'll just lose the bag. But I bought these for a fairly inexpensive amount on Amazon. I found them from who used them. I think it was Ammo, so Ammo NYC. So I found the UK version of these. So if you don't know, they're in my AMG GTS interior detail video. There's a link in there as well. It's not an affiliate link, before anybody asks. I haven't got time to set one of those up. I've got no interest in it either. So just go and buy it. It's not probably the cheapest, not probably the most expensive, but it's the first one I found. Yeah, these are cool. To be honest, my interior shelf is not actually that impressive. I've got 20 towels there. Probably need to increase that to 40, maybe 50 as well. And now I'm going to go and get my wheel towels and door jamb towels. So in the wheel and door jamb category, I've got mainly my old style waffle weaves. Really good absorbency still. The towel's still great, but because we've got the V2 now of the waffle weaves, we've kind of demoted them down for specifically door jambs actually, because they can just suck the water up really well. The old, so the V1 utility towels are amazing actually. Black, because they're black, they're amazing at hiding dirt, because wheels are the worst. So we obviously haven't got rid of them. I try to categorize these as best as I can. So these are like our development towels. You can see there's different colors, different blends. And these are kind of like the fluffy ones. So if there's any sensitive wheel finishes that I need to be aware of, we normally use these. So that's it done. So I'm just going to reorganize the bottles in a nice straight line. And I realize the video's been a very long one now. So I'm going to decide whether I'm going to finish the video here, or if I'm going to show you inside the development cupboard where we keep just some of the other products that we kind of have to buy in. But although the cabinets, there's no point showing you, because there's cabinets there for like our notebooks and pens, our extension cables for the Mac and all that sort of stuff. So it's not really interesting. So I've already organized them, so all the notebooks are like even and really kind of OCD and stuff. But there's only really like one more cabinet, but I've got a few waxes in there or not. But either way, I'm going to summarize the video soon anyway, so I'm going to wipe down all the cabinets, all the worktops with a bit of YumGlass, and then we'll see where that takes us. So all the cabinets have been done now. I'm going to quickly show you the development cabinet or the development drawer after I do this. Now, one of the drawbacks of this surface that we've got on top of the cabinet is every time you put your hands on like this, over time you will start to see fingerprints. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to show you a cool method. Now if you've got any cabinets which are obviously, so this is Dura, if you've got Sonic, if you've got Sabre, if you've got similar style cabinets like these, they're most likely, so 99.9% that likely that they've got painted surfaces. So in this case it's black. Now, how do you maintain them? So I'm going to show you. We've got a bit of YumGlass and the towels. So this is one of my wheel towels, which was an X plush towel. So if you've got any plastics, metals, even at home, if you've got plastic cabinets, glass cabinets, metal cabinets, this method is amazing. So the reason why we use YumGlass instead of something like the interior is only for one reason, is the flash rate. So the flash rate of glass is the fastest in our entire line. So when you spray it on, you wipe it in, it'll start to immediately flash. Now plastics hold moisture the most, so it'll probably take around 60 seconds for it to flash. Now if you apply it properly onto the cabinets, it flashes within a few seconds. If you take a few towels, so like a wet one and a dry one, you can wipe it on and wipe it off. But on the plastic tops, I actually leave it to air dry naturally because it's fairly quick. So I go fairly heavy with this. I just saturate the entire surface. Now this method's worked for us for a long, long time now, and it cleans it really well, and it leaves no smears, which is the most important thing. This will be really interesting. Let me know in the comments whether you've enjoyed this style of video. Now I know this has been a long one, and you've literally seen a man take stuff in and out of a cabinet, so if you've made it this far, you're equally as crazy as me. But it wasn't really, as I said at the start of the video, this wasn't a how to unpack a cabinet video. This was an unofficial update. You've seen a lot of the stuff. Well, you've heard a lot of opinions firstly, and you've seen a lot of the stuff that we are working on in the near future and in the distant future. So just let me know, because obviously there'll be a few people who moan about this, like they always do. The same people, or the same 5 to 10 people who immediately leave a dislike, clearly just don't like me. But for the normal people out there, I'll be curious, because next year I'll do it again, and obviously next year there'll be a lot more stuff in the cabinets. There'll be newer development projects, and who knows where it might lead. But like I said, I do this every year. I do maintenance, kind of clear outs and tidy ups anyway, but the main one, I do it yearly. And if you do like this, it may become a regular occurrence. Now, like I said, if you've got metal cabinets, I know a lot of people use this method within the house as well. But what I would recommend is take another towel. So let me take one. So any high traffic areas, so where you touch, where you open the cabinets, like you've seen, I've not added any product. There's enough product on the towel. Just knock down a bit of the moisture, you just walk away. Now it's still a little bit wet, but it will evaporate super quick. Now, granted, this towel's really wet. In normal circumstances, you would just do a fine mist wipe on, wipe off, but as you can see, it's evaporating super quick. If you want to speed the process up, just wipe it down real quick, but I do this step weekly. So, development cupboards. This is always changing, it's always altering. Now, you've seen, obviously, the brushes that we're going through at the minute, just to see if we can tweak the process, but more than likely a V2 version will be made. Now, developments. We always start with, first of all, what we think is the best. We always try, well, I think at the minute we've pretty much tried everything there is to try in the market, but we still keep buying. If there's new stuff coming out, we'll buy it. Now, if we say we want to do a paste wax, we'll just go and buy like 100 paste waxes at varying price ranges, and we'll start to, use them on different cars, different conditions. So, obviously, you guys know that I still need to film the part 2 of, I won't get them all out, of the ammo video. I can't wait to try this. So, this isn't really bought for the purpose of the development. This is more of a geek kind of project for myself, just to see what obviously Larry has to offer. But even regardless, whether I like it or not, it's more of a support thing. I want to try new products. I know he's a one-man band. Every business needs support, like we do, he does too. So we're going to be filming a part 2 of this. It's not going to be a review again, like the first episode. It's going to be just me using it, me giving my kind of thoughts as I'm using it, like I always do anyway. So obviously you know that is going to come. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be making a competing product of the type. We're just using them, giving us, you never know, we'll say buy one product. It'll lead to a chain of events which will then decide on like a product that is 7 steps away from it, but this one product has led to it. So for example, the PNS bead maker, God, I can't speak English today. So the bead maker, I mean, we've had this bottle, so it's half full, and we had it, in fact, we had this when the caddy was here, so it's a while now, and we just use it intermittently just to see, again, we'll revisit it in a few months, or every few months, just to see what, if anything's changed in our opinion, how it performs in, again, colder weather, hotter weather. But I mean, we've got a lot of waxes. So for example, oh, I love this. So the Patriot wax from Adams, one of my favorites still. Love it. So it's just a nice smell. We've got a lot of Chemical Guy stuff. We've got every single one of the Color Night waxes in here. We've got, I won't show this out of the respect to the brand, but we've got every wax from a certain UK manufacturer, every wax. I've been in touch with them and I've just said, look, as a customer, not as a brand owner, this is why I'm not going to show you the brand and talk about it, because it'll obviously then change the whole topic of, or the tone of the conversation. But I got in touch with them, and how many waxes there? There's multiple waxes, and I just said, look, it's not good for the price, especially for the price that one of the waxes was. I bought them again retail, didn't ask for no discount, and they're really disappointed. I even had Kelly's brother in here as I was testing it on a certain car that was in here, and even he said, And there's another obviously big UK brand that specializes in waxes. That, to be fair, the only wax that I was half happy with was their most expensive wax, and it's a lot more expensive than, say, other waxes. It's like quadruple the price. So again, out of respect to the UK market, I'm not going to show it, and we'll just keep it at that. You can all have your guesses what it is. I will not confirm nor deny any of the guesses. But again, we've got, in fact, this will be a good one. This will be So it's been unused so far. This was a present to myself, and this is the Adams Polishers graphene detail spray. So again, I'm going to probably film me using this, not as a review. I'm not a reviewer. However, I'm really curious because my personal opinion from all the research that I've done and obviously all the chemists that we know, it smells lovely though. It's the coating, it's the Adams spray coating that I know smells like death. But from all the chemists that we know, all the research that we've done, and just the general market, well, the market, in fact, I'll rephrase myself, the market itself has gone crazy for it because I think there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of pulling pants down of the customer. But from what I know, I think graphene's not there yet. And it's funny, like I keep saying this, it's funny, one company releases it, and then 77 companies just jump on board. They've got a graphene wax straight away. To have a development in the stability of a product, it requires a lot more time than a few weeks in between launches. So I know Adams is the originator for the whole graphene side of things, 100%. They are the originator. They've actually bought the chemist out, and the chemist, this was actually 6 months ago. It's not as accurate now, but 6 months ago, this was extremely accurate. That the 3 graphene coatings that were on the market came from Adams. Not directly from Adams, but because Adams owned the chemist, it came obviously from Adams. So Adams had one, and there was 2 other brands that came out with it. Now you tell me which one you think would be the best. I already know the answer to this. Of course it would be the Adams one, because they would keep some special tweaks to themselves and not to their kind of competitors basically. So I know these guys were the first with the whole graphene thing, 100%. So I want to try the detail spray. This is the most weakest version of a graphene line. They've got the graphene spray coat and they've got the graphene coating as well, but this is more of a maintenance product. So I will probably use it on whichever car I'll have a look. It depends what I do with the GTS. Depends whether I coat it, whether I wax it, whether I do a ceramic treatment. It will all depend on where this gets used, because if I wax the GTS, I can strip a panel really easily, but then if I end up coating it with multiple layers, it will be such a shame to get it back in here, to then strip all that coating, which will take a little bit of time, to then do this, to then re-strip it, to then recoat it, you know. So I will see. It depends on the car, but this has been an interesting one. But we've got a whole host in here. Some of the stuff I'm not going to show you for various reasons, but it's coming from all over the world. We've got UK stuff here, we've got American stuff here, we've got European stuff, and I think that's it really. I would say those are the 3 biggest markets. But yeah, this is our development cupboard, one of them, but this is the one I always access to anyway. We've got other stuff hiding in units, but this is the one where, you know, I can, if I'm washing a car, I'll pull this, and if I've got a certain type of product that I'm doing on a certain step already outside, I'll pull it out and we'll test it. So again, none of this stuff gets filmed, so there is the reason it doesn't get filmed. It would make great viewing. I honestly believe that it would make great viewing, but the reason I don't do it, because I am a brand owner, and I wouldn't want anybody to think we are biased or unbiased in a certain way. So this is why no cameras are involved, and we just do it I try and flip a switch in my head where I'm a customer, because at the end of the day I bought these products. So I am a customer in this sense. So I'll use it per instructions, I'll use it per how I think it should be used, and I'll compare it. But anyway, without dragging on too long, I will leave this video here. So guys, I know it's been a long one. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed all the kind of sub-conversations and the tangents that I went off on, and hope you guys have a great new year. By the time this video will get aired, you'll be probably in the middle of January. So hope you've not have too many headaches, and yeah, hope 2021 for you is an amazing year, and let me know in the comments what you think. It'll be really interesting how you found the style video, but I'm going to leave you. Stay tuned for more.